Hi there. So I'm getting ready for just a short little getaway, and I thought, what a great opportunity to film a video about books, right? Because when else do you need to know what are good books to bring? I personally can't think of anything worse than going on a trip and being stuck with a bad book. So real quick, let me hop on here and tell you what books I'm bringing to my beach getaway. Okay, so this is a really short trip. It's only a few days. It's just like a weekend getaway, but still, books matter. So first of all, for audiobooks, because you need something for the ride, my kids aren't going to be joining us, so it's okay if there's a little bit of profanity in the audio. I'm going between two audiobooks. I don't know anything about them. I believe they're both secular. The first one is called The Chain, and that one comes recommended by somebody, I don't remember who, but it's the story of, it's a mystery where someone's child is abducted and they have to abduct another child in order to get their child back, and it's like a domestic thriller. So sounds like an interesting concept. I might like that one. It comes highly recommended. And then the other one I'm thinking of is Listen for the Lie, which is a thriller about a podcast. So it's supposed to be funny and a mystery. And I thought that would be fun for my husband and I to kind of laugh along as we drive. Okay, so the actual concrete books that I'm packing, here we go. It's such a short trip that my husband and I are going to share a suitcase, but I do have this little bag that I'm going to put a few things in. First and foremost, of course, is my Bible. So I'm going to bring my Bible. I'm in the middle of 1 Kings, and I'm really struggling with 1 Kings. So I might get on here and do a video about all the frustration and things I've learned as I've really literally limped my way through Kings. And of course, my Bible journal. It's a Bible journal and a book journal. It's just, if it gets left out and someone reads it, it's just my notes on the Bible and the books I've read. But I like to take notes, and my favorite pen. So I'll put that in there. And then two books that I've purchased that I'm not sure, I don't know much about them. I've just purchased them and they look really good. So I'm excited to read them. The first one is The Family Across the Street, which I mentioned in a previous video. I think I did an unboxing where I talk about both of these books. So I'm gonna look at The Family Across the Street, and if I don't like that, I'm gonna switch to The Souls of Lost Lake. So this one's Christian mystery, and this one is a secular mystery. So anyway, that's what I'm packing. Oh, let me not forget. Like I say, all my stuff is in my husband's suitcase. So I'm gonna bring my charger and my Kindle and of course, my wallet. So that's it. Hope I have a good trip. I'll tell you what I think about the books when I get back. Okay, so my husband and I are halfway to the beach. We always stop at this restaurant called Timbers in Ladysmith. We really like it if you're ever on the road. It's right off the Ladysmith exit off 95. Anyway, I decided on Listen for the Lie, the audiobook, because it's a thriller and it's also kind of funny. And I thought my husband and I both would enjoy just something a little bit funny on the way to the beach. So in the book, there's this woman, and she's got this really dry sense of humor, and so it's a little bit funny. And she goes back to her Texas home because her 80th, her grandmother guilt trips her into going to her 80th birthday party. And it's just really funny like that. But also, we're a couple hours in, and my husband and I both think that maybe the girl telling the story did kill her friend, because by the way, she's accused of killing her friend, and there's this podcaster that's researching it, and he's ruined her life. But anyway, my husband and I, we think that maybe she did kill her friend, because throughout the book, she has this weird inner voice that goes, "Let's kill." And we think that's really suspicious. So we're thinking maybe she is the guilty party. We're not so sure. So here's my dinner. I got the Reuben with the homemade chips. I love the homemade chips at Timber.
And I've mentioned before I'm on Weight Watchers, so I've lost over 10 pounds, but I'm, on vacation, so I'm getting fried bread with meat, and that's my whole points for the day, but I don't care because I've already lost the 10, so I'm pretty happy. And the hubster, he got the Italian, a bunch of different Italian things.
On the road again. I can't wait to get back on the road again. So let me tell you about my dinner. Oh, you get a styrofoam box. You can't see it. I do find that before Weight Watchers, I ate a lot more than I needed. So, I really love those chips. They're like homemade and they're covered in Old Bay, so they were really good. But I only needed half a sandwich. So see, I don't know if you can see. That's the other half of the sandwich and the chips. So really good. And then of course, have to save room for dessert. So I got this dessert. Oh, it's unbelievable. It's called, what is it called? The Galaxy, because it's like a Milky Way bar, and it's a chocolate cake with caramel. And of course, I just ate half, but it was so good. Oh, I forgot. I'm in the driver's seat. My husband said he's gonna drive, so maybe I'll get back into this cake. I don't know. Full disclosure, I absolutely finished that cake on the way to the beach. I loved every minute of it too. So we listened to Listen for the Lie, and I finished the cake. And I gained 2 pounds, but I'm not worried because that weight's gonna come right off. Now we're home. I lost some of my vlogging film. I'm not sure how I managed to pull that one off, but I'm home, and I'm just gonna tell you about Listen for the Lie. And I'm also gonna tell you, I finished the book of Kings in the Bible. I did read the book of Kings at the beach, but I didn't read the 2 paper books I brought. I'm reading them now at home, so I'll talk about them in a separate video. But I'm going to do a video on Kings. I'm trying to just do an overview of Kings in another video, just to help people understand, because it's a complicated book in the Bible, and I'm not going to lie, I've struggled. So if I can make that easier for somebody else, stay tuned. That'll be in another video. Now, Listen for the Lie. It was highly recommended on Olivia Reads a Latte channel. She's really funny, and I've just discovered her recently. She's a secular booktuber. She's not, she might be a Christian, but she's not, I don't know of her as a Christian booktuber. She vlogs and talks about mostly secular books that I've noticed, but she did highly recommend Listen for the Lie, and I enjoyed her video, and so I got the book on Audible, and I did enjoy it. My husband enjoyed it too. So I agree with Olivia. Definitely a great book, and one that I highly recommend. Just to backpedal a little bit and give you the general synopsis of the book. So Listen for the Lie is the story of Lucy. 5 years ago, she was at a wedding with her really good friend, her best friend, Savvy, and something happened that night. Savvy was murdered, and Lucy was found wandering the road covered in Savvy's blood. And at first, everyone thought Lucy was injured, and they were, when Savvy was killed by someone, they injured Lucy as well. But then people start to think maybe Lucy killed her best friend, and she moves away to Los Angeles when this podcaster, Ben, starts to do a podcast about the murder of Savvy. And of course, Lucy's life is upended because people didn't know who she was. She got away from her past, and now everybody's talking about her all over again. When her grandmother calls her and wants her to come home for her 80th birthday. So the grandmother's having this 80th birthday party, and so Lucy goes home. She doesn't really want to because the people there think she got away with murdering, the wonderful Savvy. And then Ben shows up at her hometown in Texas to continue his podcast. So it was a funny book. It was a sad book and a funny book and a great mystery. It had a lot of things. The thing that made it funny, though, was Ben was interviewing people who hated Lucy, people who thought Lucy didn't kill her friend, people who empathized with Lucy, different family members of Lucy. And as he's doing that, all sorts of tea gets spilled. Different secrets come out, and some of them are really funny. So my husband and I both enjoyed Listen for the Lie. And let me tell you, if the two of us can agree on a book, it's a good one. Hey everybody, so I just finished The Chain. And The Chain was recommended by Zach's Books. That's a new YouTube channel that I found. I saw a video on thriller book recommendations and I clicked on it and I noticed that he was recommending, I think, Drowning, and I really liked that book. So I said, okay, I'll watch and see what other books he recommends. And so the one he recommended was The Chain. It's an interesting concept. So it begins with this little girl named Kylie, and she's 8th grade girl. She's at the bus stop on her phone when this man comes in, walks up to her wearing a ski mask, points a gun at her, and abducts her. So the book definitely like grabs you and doesn't let go until the very end. And I will say, I was literally biting my nails. I was really getting nervous towards the end of the book. It's really a roller coaster of a book. So in The Chain, Kylie's mom, Rachel, is divorced from Kylie's dad, but they get along. They have a decent enough relationship. And she has apparently just beat breast cancer. So she's driving to the doctor and she gets one of these phone calls, and it's, the distorted voice, or, really creepy, especially for the audiobook. I thought that was creepy. So it's the kidnapper saying, someone has your child and you're going to have to pay attention to all of the demands. And definitely throughout the book, it's repeated. It's not about the money. It's about the chain. And so then someone else calls her and gives her the details. And the details are, first she has to pay a ransom, but it's not about the money. It's really about the chain. So the next thing she has to do is kidnap some other loved one in order to get her daughter released. So in order for her child to be released from the kidnappers, she has to kidnap somebody else's, it says loved one, but she takes a child. And so it's really, it's a crazy concept, but it's pretty interesting how it works. And of course, the people who have kidnapped Rachel's daughter, Kylie, are not exactly monsters. They just want to get their son back. So they kidnap Kylie, but they're also capable of tremendous cruelty, because they did kidnap another child, but also they're willing to kill this child in order to protect their child who's kidnapped by someone else. So it's just this really topsy-turvy, convoluted chain. There are multiple points of view in The Chain. So it's usually Rachel's point of view, the mom, but sometimes we get Kylie's point of view, and she's a pretty sharp kid. She's an 8th grade girl, and she attempts to outsmart her kidnappers. And sometimes, especially in the second half of the book, we actually really get into the mind of, the point of view of the person running the chain. And that is really crazy. I mean, the person running the chain, or the people actually running the chain, are just incredibly evil, horrible people, pretty much from birth. So we even get flashbacks into the childhoods, and it's pretty dark. So there's nothing really, it did get pretty violent at the end, and there's, some stabbings, I think, in the book, but there's no, terrible exploitation or abuse of little children. That's like a line in the sand for me. I can't read that stuff. It just really upsets me. It wasn't so much that as it was more about this mom and how she was really willing to do anything to get her daughter back. So as she does that, she thinks about calling her ex-husband and then decides he's not very tough and reliable. So she calls his brother, who is a retired military man, doesn't trust the police. Come to find out, he has a little problem with heroin. So that makes the plot even more twisty. But anyway, she ends up getting together with her ex-brother-in-law, and the two of them try to take on the chain and get the daughter back. So it was pretty good. There were some things I didn't like. I had trouble at some points liking this woman, Rachel, because, she did abduct somebody else's child to get her child back. And sometimes I just didn't sympathize with her and the situation that she was in, because she wasn't always nice to the child that she abducted. So I had a little trouble with that. Like I say, it's not real triggering. She's just kind of, mean, a little bit sometimes. She snaps at the child and things like that. And one thing I really did like about the book was, you know, when the person is looking for someone to kidnap to get their child back, they get on Facebook. So it definitely gives a lot of warning about the things we put out there on social media. And I, for one, do not have Facebook. So I was glad to see somebody was saying, hey, might not be a good idea to post everything about your life. So that I appreciated about the book. Okay, so thanks for watching my sort of beach vlog, mostly from home filmed vlog. I don't know. But I did have a great time at the beach. I listened to 2 great audiobooks, finished the Book of Kings. I have started one of the paper books, so hopefully another video about that will be coming soon. And I am working for you guys on a video all about First Kings. So, you know, looking forward to posting that hopefully next week. Stay tuned.